Tarte Tatin, the Irresistible Upside-Down Caramelized Apple Tart Recipe, Part 2. Step-by-step preparation. Creating a Tarte Tatin is a rewarding process that offers delicious results. From caramelizing the apples to the final baking, each step plays a crucial role in achieving that perfect blend of flavors and textures. Here's a breakdown of how to make this classic dessert. Caramelizing the apples. Caramelizing apples is the heart of Tarte Tatin. The goal is to transform the apples into a rich, golden brown topping that is both sweet and slightly tangy. Here's how to do it right. 1. Choose the right apples. Use firm apples like Granny Smith or Honeycrisp. Their tartness helps balance the sweetness of the caramel. 2. Prepare your ingredients. 4 to 6 medium apples, peeled, cored, and quartered. 1 cup sugar. 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. 3. Heat the pan. Start with a heavy skillet or cast iron pan. Place it over medium heat. Add the sugar and let it melt. Don't stir it too much, just swirl the pan gently to avoid burning the sugar. 4. Add butter. Once the sugar is a lovely amber color, add the butter. This will create a buttery caramel sauce. 5. Add apples. Carefully place the apple quarters into the caramel. Cook them for about 10 minutes, turning them frequently. You want them to soften but not fall apart. They should soak up that caramel goodness. 6. Timing is key. Keep an eye on the apples. They should be tender and coated in caramel, but not mushy. This is all about finding that sweet spot where they have texture and flavor. Assembling the tart. Now that you have beautifully caramelized apples, it's time to layer them into the tart. This is where you turn your apples into a work of art. 1. Prepare the puff pastry. Roll out a sheet of puff pastry to fit your pan. Make it larger than the pan so it drapes over the edges. This will create a lovely crust as it bakes. 2. Layering the apples. Start placing the caramelized apples in the pan. Arrange them tightly so they fit snugly. If you want to get fancy, layer some apples in a circular pattern for a beautiful presentation. 3. Cover the apples. Gently drape the puff pastry over the apples, tucking the edges around them. Make a few small slits in the pastry to allow steam to escape during baking. Baking tips. Baking the Tarte Tatin is the final step. To ensure it comes out perfectly, follow these tips. 1. Preheat your oven. Make sure your oven is set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius, before placing the tart inside. 2. Bake evenly. Place the tart on the middle rack. Bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. You want the pastry to puff up and turn golden brown. 3. Check for color. The tart is done when the pastry is golden and crispy. If you notice any areas that look pale, you might want to give it a few extra minutes. 4. Let it rest. Once baked, allow the tart to cool for 5 to 10 minutes before flipping it onto a serving plate. This will help the caramel set and prevent a sticky mess. By following these steps, you'll create a stunning Tarte Tatin that tastes as good as it looks. Each bite will have layers of caramelized apples and flaky pastry, making it an unforgettable dessert. Enjoy the process and happy baking. Serving suggestions. When it's time to serve Tarte Tatin, the right pairings can elevate this delicious dessert. The sweet and rich flavors of the caramelized apples deserve accompaniments that enhance and balance them. Let's explore some ideal pairings and creative presentation ideas that will leave your guests impressed. Ideal pairings. Choosing the right drinks and side dishes can make your Tarte Tatin experience even more enjoyable. Here are some great options that go well with this upside-down apple tart. Beverages. Sweet wine. A chilled glass of Sauterne or a late harvest Riesling complements the dessert sweetness. Coffee. A strong espresso or a smooth cappuccino provides a delightful contrast to the sugary tart. Cider. A sparkling apple cider brings out the tart's rich apple flavors, making for a refreshing pairing. Side dishes. Whipped cream. A dollop of freshly whipped cream adds a creamy texture that balances the caramelized apples. Vanilla ice cream. The classic scoop of vanilla ice cream melts beautifully over the warm tart, creating a fantastic flavor combination. Oh, nuts! Toasted walnuts or almonds add a nice crunch and earthy flavor, enhancing the overall experience. Presentation ideas. The way you present Tarte Tatin can transform it into the star of any gathering. Here are some creative ways to showcase this dessert for special occasions. 1. Serve on a wooden board. Placing the tart on a rustic wooden board adds a natural touch and makes it easy for guests to help themselves. 2. Decorative plate. Use a beautiful cake stand or a decorative plate for a more elegant look. A colorful plate can add a fun pop to your presentation. 3. Garnish with fresh herbs. A sprig of mint or thyme on top of the tart adds a fresh element and enhances the visual appeal. 4. Add sauce drizzle. Drizzling caramel or chocolate sauce around the plate can create an artistic effect, making the dessert irresistible. By pairing your Tarte Tatin with delicious drinks and sides while presenting it in a creative way, you'll surely impress your guests. Enjoying this classic dessert becomes a memorable experience when every detail is thoughtfully considered.